All right, so here's what I'll talk about the five pillars of wealth. And I would like for you guys to take notes because I think some of these pillars are very, very important. Why protection matters, generational wealth. Generational wealth is important to me because what I see is I see that there could be a generation, and a lot of us on here building wealth. A lot of you guys are in my coaching program. You guys are buying real estate. Unfortunately, wealth only really passes over to no more than three different generations. And so I've always tried to figure out different ways within my generation. I only have one child, my daughter, and then my grandchildren, and then my great grandchildren, how the wealth can continue to pass on. And part of it's education. Part of it is having the right investments, but we need to, as a community, learn how to pass on wealth because one generation will do well, and I've seen it in my lifetime where a generation will do well. They grew up poor, but did extremely well, and then the next generation kind of fell back into I don't know if poverty is the right word, but probably is. And so we've got to learn how to build generational wealth. If it's important to you, I've talked to some people and that's not important. It's like, okay, my child, they're on their own, whatever they do. I'm gonna live my life. But I've always tried to accumulate real estate. I've got money in the stock market. I've got the right insurances so that if something was to happen to me, the wealth can continue. And then we'll take some action steps towards the end. All right, here's the five pillars, home ownership. And so home ownership, you guys, starts the process of building generational wealth. Home ownership. Owning a home, buying it right, paying it down and paying it off, and then passing that on to the next generation starts the process. Unfortunately, we don't do that. Oftentimes, like Robin and Charity just said, our houses go into foreclosure or we sell our properties. We don't pass them on to the next generation, or we do pass them on to the next generation. And this is what we see doing what we do, invest in real estate. The baby boomers are dying now. The next generation is inheriting these houses. 80% of the baby boomers who are dying now die owning real estate, and 70% of them, um, the houses are free and clear of any mortgages. Now, instead of continuing um, the real estate, because the real estate appreciates in value and builds wealth, the Gen Xers, the millennials who are inheriting these properties, what are they doing with them? They're not carrying on the legacy, they're selling the properties. Now, for us as investors, it's a good thing. But overall, as a community, it's not. Because when that baby boomer passed away, all the wealth, in most cases, all the wealth in the family dies with them. And any assets that was left over dies with, the loved one. What we've got to do is we've got to have, I think it starts with education, but then enough protection, enough finances to be able to say, okay, you know that insurance policy that I have, if you need money, use that, but preserve the real estate and continue on with the real estate. The next pillar is real estate investing. I've been investing for many, many years. Someone asked me today, how long have you been investing? And I said 30 years, and I had to think about it. I was like, damn, it's actually been, this is my 40th year. I bought my first property a year out of college. Don't nobody add that up to figure out how old I am. Um, and so the next step is we want to own a home and then we want to start getting investment properties. And so why? Why do we want, somebody tell me, let's make this interactive. So we have home ownership, then we want to invest in real estate. Somebody tell me why. Either put it in the chat or just unmute yourself. Why should we invest in real estate? Somebody tell me. Come on. Go ahead, Kenny.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, everyone. I think one of the reasons why you want to invest in real estate because uh, it's a way of having equity. If you're buying it in good locations, most times it's going to increase in value over the years. And there's another something else that you can leave as part of your legacy.
Why did you've been investing a long time as well. Why did you start? What for you, not for your daughters, but for you, why did you start investing in real estate?
Well, the truth of the matter is, when I started, I just it was just right in front of me. I just first property uh, I bought the house I grew up in from my mother, and it's just nobody else wanted it, so I said, let me. She wanted to sell it, so I said, yeah. But actually, and I didn't really know the value of what I was doing, but it started from there, and then I bought a condo, so I found out that that was a way to have additional income,
Exactly.
and those properties. Um, when I bought them, they weren't a lot of value in DC and Southeast. But as the years went on, it became a good investment. And so it started from there. And I realized that, hey, this is a good thing. It's just like I bought a condo in Fairfax Village in DC for, I don't remember, I don't know, it must have been 29,000, and rented it out for a few years, and then I was trying to sell it, couldn't sell it. And when they finished that, I guess it's the Naylor Road subway station.
Uh-huh.
Um, man, I sold that thing for a nice profit. So then I really realized that it was just it was the way to go, and that's why I started. That's how I got started.
So we
And
invest in real estate to help build more wealth for ourselves. Give us cash flow for buying and holding, for flipping. It gives us additional money minus the capital gain taxes that we have to pay. Or if we're buying and holding, we build up equity. And I don't know if you've done this or not, Kenny, but we build up a certain amount of equity, and then we're able to pull some of that equity out tax free and keep the house, keep the asset. Have you done that yet? Pulled some money out and kept the
I,
house?
I have done that, and that was I think that I think the key thing with the one of the most beneficial things of that is it's a non-taxable event. So
Absolutely.
that money, and then my tenants paid back the loan, helped pay back the loan. So
Absolutely.
I got some equity out that Uncle Sam couldn't take none of,
Mhm.
and of course my mortgage went up a little, but I had tenants paying it back, and I took that money out and reinvested in more property. So
And
that's, like you said,
being
that's
so
the
well.
value of investing. It's like you can take it and keep going on and on, building from there.
Right. Absolutely. Angela, did you have a question or comment?
Oh no, I think Kenny kind of said it. I you always say for more for passive income. That's
Yeah,
what you used to
yeah,
state.
we invest in real estate, buy and hold to bring more income into our lives passively. Is
Yeah, passive income. That's right. She said it right. I should have said that.
passive income. And then the third pillar is then taking some of our money and letting that money work for us in the stock market. And so buying stocks, we buy a lot of ETFs. Anybody on here investing in the stock market? Anybody on here have any stocks? Mutual funds, 401ks, all those things are excellent. Um,
Yes, I
because
do, Greg. I do. I have 401k.
so,
It's light on stocks though, because I didn't want to be that aggressive.
okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same category. I have 401k and very light on. I'm very conservative.
And I had some stocks too, Greg. I got to redo my portfolio because I've had them for years and not really doing well, but I have some.
But we're going to start talking more and more. I don't know if any of you guys in the meeting Friday with the coaching students with Kevin. Did any of you guys make that?
No, unfortunately, I couldn't make it.
No.
I was on that, Greg. This is Nat, but I had to drop like 30 minutes after, so I only caught really the beginning of it in his conversation about ETFs, and I'm not really familiar with ETFs, so but
Okay.
I was on the call.
Uh, I was on there, Greg, and he was on there for about 2.5 hours. I missed the first part, but I got the last.
Yeah, he's really good. We're gonna bring him back. But the point is we've got to let our money work for us. We've got to let it compound. Um, and Warren Buffett said that compounded interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And so we've got to put our money into a vehicle that literally overnight makes money for us. And so there's some ETFs. I taught a class, I think last week or the week before on ETFs. Um, you can look at an ETF as like a mutual fund that has a number of different like kind stocks in them. And so you can have, we invest a lot into AI ETFs that may have about 10 or 15 different AI stocks or semiconductors, same thing. There's some ETFs that are given over 20% return, like VTG. If you guys want to look that up, VTG, over 20%. And so, Nat, if I was you, I'm more of a proponent on ETFs than stocks because you could have a number of stocks in the ETF, and if one of the stocks doesn't do well, but the other ones do, then you're still going to make money, as opposed to just your stocks. If that stock doesn't do good, then you're losing money. And so we want our money to compound, compounded interest, eighth wonder of the world. Warren Buffett also said that if you can't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And so I read that many, many years ago, and it was profound. And what he was talking about was putting your money in the stock market, in the right stocks, the S&P 500, and just watching your money work for you, watching it compound. And so we want to do both. We want to invest in real estate and pull some money out. I'm actually selling a property and I'm going to put some of the money into the stock market. And then with the rest of the money, buy another piece of real estate. And so that's the fifth pillar that we really have to, hone in on. Um, my challenge to you is just to open up a brokerage account. And I'm going to teach a class probably next week. So a number of people have asked me, how do you open up a brokerage account? We're going to I'm gonna have a class. We're just going to open up a brokerage account. It doesn't cost a thing, but now you've taken the first step. And then we can talk about some of the ETFs that you can actually invest in, and some of them are very, very, very inexpensive, very inexpensive. The fourth pillar is entrepreneurship. And some of you guys are entrepreneurs. I believe in entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur all my adult life. Actually started in college. Um, and so the beauty of entrepreneurship, even if it's part-time, is you're able to make money and then invest that money into real estate, into the stock market. I always advise getting your real estate license, and I know a number of you guys have a real estate license. I know Kenny sold real estate as an investor or selling real estate as an investor part-time, and he worked full-time. Even selling financial services like insurance is a great path. Actually, a better path than real estate because you get paid for the work that you do, but then also you get an override if you were to recruit someone and they have a sale, then you get a piece of that sale. You get an override. And then every policy that you sell, every time your client renews, you get paid all over again. Not as much, but you get a renewal. And so, selling insurance, selling real estate, or whatever else it is, as really a part-time gig is what a lot of people need because now you can take the extra money. Now we've got to live within our means, but take the extra money and then invest in the stock market, invest in um, into real estate. And if you guys have questions about any of those things, just contact me. I'm happy to sit down with you and explain those things more. And then the fifth pillar is, which we're going to spend some time with today, on protecting all these things. Having insurance to protect your house, to protect your investments, having enough money to protect your investments, having using some of these type of policies to be your own bank is what we really need to learn about. All right, why protection matters. Protecting your income, protecting your family, protecting your business, protecting your legacy, protecting your investments. You want to make sure that if something was to happen to you, that your family's going to be okay. You want to make sure that if you have a business, that there's insurance, and I'll talk about it on one of the other slides, that if something was to happen to you, or if your business doesn't do well, you can buy insurance um, that will protect you against the downside of your business. Or if something was to happen to you, your business can continue to run. You want to protect your legacy. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of the Rockefeller waterfall. Anybody ever heard of that Rockefeller waterfall and why the Rockefellers are so wealthy? Anybody ever heard of that? Okay. So what the Rockefeller waterfall is and why the Rockefellers are so wealthy is because when a child is born, and this goes back over 100 years, they take out a big insurance policy on them. Um, they take it out when they're born because, there's no health issues, it's cheaper. They take out as big of a policy as they can so that when they die, the um, the relatives will that money will go to an estate, and then they all invest out of that estate. That's called a Rockefeller. I could have explained it a little better, but basically they use insurance to build their wealth, both when they die and when they're living. And so they borrow against the money, tax free. They borrow it. I think there's like two stipulations for a house. You can borrow that money, that trust, because all the money goes into a trust when they pass away. The trust is the beneficiary, and the relatives they can borrow against the trust for I think it's for school, to buy a house, and to start a business. And then they've got to pay that money back. And then, when someone else passes, then millions of dollars goes to the trust. So the trust inherits the money as the beneficiary. And that's how you protect your legacy. And that's how you build generational wealth. All right, real estate, ETFs, and wealth insurance. And so we've talked about real estate already, ETFs. Um, these are the pillars, you guys. These are the pillars that I want you guys to have, that I want you to have, I want you to want to have, and then also I want to help you guys get these things. And so we help people with home ownership now through our real estate brokerage. We're starting to get more and more into the stock market, just as an understanding. I want you guys to understand the power of compounded interest. If I had time, I'd bring out a compounded interest calculator just to show you how fast money can grow. And then entrepreneurship to me is the key. Again, whether you do it full time or part time, and then protecting all of these things. All right, protecting families. Ask yourself the hard questions now before life forces you to answer them under pressure. Could my family stay in our house? If something was to happen to you, could your family stay in your house? Or would they have to sell it? Would debts be manageable? If something was to happen to you, would debts be manageable? And then would investments continue? Would all your investments continue? And to be honest, these are the questions that I ask myself almost on a daily basis. Like, am I doing a good job? Something was to happen to me, would my family be protected? Or would they have to sell the property? Would they have to sell the house? Would they have to sell or cash in on all the investments? Or do I have insurance that can cover all of these things? And so these are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. And these are tough questions, but we've got to ask ourselves about this stuff. Even in partnerships, and we'll talk about this in a minute, your partners, and I have partners with some of my investments. My question is always what happens if that partner became ill or passed away? Is that partnership, will that partnership sustain all of that and will they be okay? All right. So protecting business owners. And so, like I just said, some things that I want you guys to think about is business continuity. Will the business continue to run? If you have a business, you have a partnership. I know some of you guys have partnerships or will have partnerships in real estate. We've got some people in our coaching program now who they've partnered with each other on properties, some buy and hold properties. And they did a operating agreement. And in the operating agreement, it's actually spells out what happens if one of the partners gets sick or if one of the partners passes away, but you can buy insurance just in case that happens. Key person planning. If there's a key person, like I'm the key person in my business, question is, would my business continue to run if something was to happen to me? Or you can get key person or key man insurance so that if something was to happen to me, I can get that on our business. Our business would still run. There would be money for the business. Buy self funding, debt protection. You can actually get insurance to protect you against, your debt. You can actually get an insurance policy on your business, on your house, just in case for whatever reason you lose your job and you have a lot of debt, you can have an insurance policy that will cover all those things. Protecting real estate investors. And so you need enough protection to cover any type of mortgage obligations, rental portfolio continuity, and legacy planning. There's a type of insurance called mortgage protection insurance. And so we recommend mortgage protection insurance for all of our clients when they buy houses, whether they're real estate investors or first-time home buyers, so that if anything was to happen to them, the house would be paid off. Or in most of the policies that we have, we've got, and I'll get to this. They all come with living benefits. Living benefits mean that number one, if there's a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, the policy that you have, well, you can utilize the money in that policy. Or if when there's money built up in the policy, you can borrow against that money and invest in real estate. You can actually invest in real estate with the money in that policy. There's a policy called IUL, Index Universal Life Policy, um, that I just simply love, especially for investors and entrepreneurs. That's another retirement plan. And so if you're looking to increase your retirement plan to be able to borrow money tax-free against that, the best thing to do is to get one of these type of policies and then overfund the policies. And then you can get those policies and borrow money against it and be your own bank tax-free. Understanding chronic, critical, and terminal illness. Um, I got all kinds of stories for this, but chronic illness, long-lasting conditions that may require ongoing care or limited daily activity. And so these are all, if something was to happen to you, and it happens to all of us, we never ever know what's going to happen to us in life. But we want to make sure that we have some type of policy, even if it's just a term policy that you're paying less than $100 a month. Those term policies carry a rider that will give you chronic illness coverage, critical illness coverage, which means if there's a serious medical event such as a heart attack, stroke, or certain cancers, your policy while you're living will pay out. And then, of course, terminal illnesses, an illness expected to result in death within a time frame will pay out before you pass away. Is there a question?
My phone, I'm busy right now. No, I'm busy right now. They talk to me.
Hold on. Somebody's. You guys, Olivia, keep your phone. Stay muted, please. But there is a question. What's the question? What happens if both person and child die together? So you'll have at least two people as beneficiaries on your policy. If that's the question, you'll have at least two people as beneficiaries on the policy. I think what she say if they die together? Oh, if they die together. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But here's the point. We're all getting older. Some of you guys may or may not know, but my brother is in the hospital now. He's got diabetes and he got sick. Most of you guys know Keith. And so he's doing well. He was in the hospital. Now he's in a rehab center, rehabbing his foot. We got good news that they didn't have to take his foot, but he will be in a rehab center for a month. He's got insurance. And so um, he's got a chronic illness that his insurance policy is paying him while he's out. Now, because his brother owns the company it works for, I'm still paying him, but his insurance policy is paying him as well. And so the point there is you just never know. And you never know what's going to happen in life. You may come ill. Insurance is not ever used for when you die, it's there, but you get insurance while you're living and to be taken advantage of while you're living. And so if you have any type of chronic, critical, terminal illness, the sooner, the better that you get a policy that will cover these things. Now, it will cover death as well and pay out, but we want to get these policies to pay while we're still living. And then if we get permanent insurance, like a whole life policy or universal policy, it comes with cash value. And so now you're also building wealth and can use that money while you're still getting chronic, critical, and terminal illness coverage. These policies also allow you to build wealth for yourself and then borrow that money that's in the policy to invest in real estate. You can take loans off of these policies, all of these things. Common mistakes, waiting too long. being underinsured. A lot of us either don't have policies or we don't have enough. Never reviewing your plan and building wealth without protection. You want to make sure that you've got protection. I don't care what kind of policy you have, you want to make sure that you have those living benefits, that it covers critical, chronic, and terminal illness. You want to make sure, my preference would be for you to have a permanent policy as opposed to a temporary policy, which is a term policy. When I got married, I took out a 20-year term and I've outlived the term. But before my term policy was over, I became ill. And to the point that it's very, very difficult for me to get a permanent policy. And so the sooner the better. Because let's say that when I got my term policy, let's say I got a permanent policy like a universal life policy, I would have that no matter what happened to me, I would have that for the rest of my life and build up cash value. But I had nobody around me to tell me that that's what I should get. I had a family friend that was selling Primerica and said buy this term policy. So I bought the term policy. And then it ran out. 20 years was over with. Insurance got all their money, never missed a payment. Insurance company got their money, but now it's very difficult. I was able to get insurance, but cost me a lot more because I had an illness. And when I took out the policy, it must have been about 30, 31, 32, something like that, in great health. And so it was very inexpensive. And so I would prefer you to get a permanent policy. But if you can only afford, term policies are very, very inexpensive. But if you can only afford a term policy, it's fine. At least you're covered in case something happens to you. Hopefully that made a lot of sense to you. All right, financial checkup. Checkup. Use this checklist to evaluate where you stand across all five pillars of wealth today. And this is private for you guys. Do you own a home? Can you put a check mark there? Do you have any investment properties? Can you put a check mark there? Stock market, stocks, ETFs. Do you have, can you put a check mark there? Emergency funds, insurance review, and estate planning. Anybody here put a check on all of those? Now we have for estate planning, wills, trusts, things like that. We've got policies that we can give you those things free. Actually, even without a policy. So if you guys are interested in any type of estate planning, I can get you all those things, trusts, wills, things like that, at absolutely free. Just contact me. But these are the pillars, you guys. These are the pillars, and these are some of the things that contact me, Malcolm. Malcolm, you know how to get a hold of me? You can either
Yes,
schedule.
sir. I have your number, and I can also schedule through the email, correct?
Absolutely. gbschedule.com. You can schedule there. You can email me, however you want to do it.
Okay.
But I do want you guys to focus. This is how you build wealth. Home ownership starts the process of generational wealth, and then your investments in real estate, your investments in the stock market. Um, I would love for you guys to have, for some of you guys to have a part-time gig of being your own boss, calling your own shots, and then using that money to invest, and then protecting yourself through the different policies, and then prepping yourself. These are generally tough conversations, but you want to make sure that you truly do leave a legacy, but then you leave a plan, a blueprint, a roadmap, just in case something was to happen, and we plan now. And we can help you guys plan that free of charge. All right, 30-day action plan. Review your goals, whatever your goals might be, whatever your financial goals are. I want you to have a financial goal. We talked earlier about passive income. I want you to have a passive income goal of $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month, whatever it is, have a goal and have a passive income goal. Increase your savings, continue investing, and review your protection. Make sure you're protected. Make sure you have the right protection. All right, see how these five pillars build on each other, one step at a time to increase generational wealth. And so for me, I kind of did it backwards a little bit. I bought rental properties first. I bought about 3 or 4 rental properties while I was living in Adams Morgan in an efficiency apartment. I love the location. I was like at 18th and Columbia Road, right in the middle of all the action. I was right out of college, and so I could walk to restaurants and clubs and bars and all those kinds of things. So I actually started building wealth through rental properties, and then I bought a house to live in. Very early on, I was able to start a business. Started off part-time, then became full-time. Very early on, I invested in the stock market. I actually got protection, wealth protection. As soon as I got married, I was like, I got to be a big boy now, protect my family. So I got the protection. And so that's kind of my story on building wealth. And I've been building on all of those things ever since. And that's what I want you guys to do. And this is sort of the proper order. I would say real estate investing would probably be second. But whatever the order is, this is the wealth. These are the pillars, you guys. All right, 10-year plan. Your 10-year plan, buy a house, invest, buy rental properties. And so we have a coaching program that can help you guys do that. Build some type of business, even if it's a real estate investment business. Build some type of business that you're making passive income, whether it's passive income through real estate, passive income through stocks and ETFs, passive income through your entrepreneurship, and then make sure that you're protected. You have all these protected through different types of wealth insurance. Um, Coaching, we can help keep you accountable. We've got in our coaching program accountability meeting. Luis was supposed to be on here. He tricked me and didn't come on here. Um, but he runs our accountability meetings on Fridays in our coaching program. But just being connected within a community helps. So being within a community really helps. It keeps the conversation. A lot of these conversations I didn't have growing up. Uh, I probably would have invested in the stock market more than I did if I would have been around people talking about it. I would have gotten the right insurances when I was young. If I would have been around the right people, I wasn't. And so I didn't get the right insurance at that time. I outlived the insurance that I bought. I just wish I would have had a permanent policy. And so that's why coaching is important. We do have a free community though. Let's see. Let me see if I don't know. Can I copy this? Some of you guys are part of our free community. Let me see if I can copy. This is our free community. I can't copy it. I'll put a link in the chat. You guys can join our free community. Um, be a part of the free community. A lot of these webinars are there. We have a lot of other things there, and a lot of other webinars and training. Um, Interact with a lot of the other people on there. We've got a couple hundred people on there. If you want to schedule a one-on-one with me to talk about any of the things that we just talked about, you can always schedule a one-on-one with me at gbschedule.com. That's my phone number. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Any questions, you guys? Any questions, comments? Where are you guys? Where are you guys in your path of building wealth? Anybody?
Right now, I'm at the first part, home ownership.
Okay, that's good. You've got to get started, you guys. You've got to get started. And your excuse is your excuse is not you don't have anyone around you like me. When I was starting, I didn't have anybody around me talking about these things. And so we've got to talk about these things and we've got to learn. And then all these things are attainable. Like for me, like the number one ETF that's given over, and you guys can look this up, over 25% return is VTG. VTG. Look up VTG ETF, and it's only like might be $160, something like that. Buy one share, $160. That's a weekend at a restaurant for some people. Buy one share and watch it. And there's some other ETFs that you can purchase, but you just got to learn and know how to do it. Open up a brokerage account. You can go to Charles Schwab, Vanguard. There's a number of ones that you can just open. And it's free. You don't have to put up any money. And then when you do see a stock or ETF or hear us talking about one, you can start following it and then start investing. And so, Malcolm, you're in the stock market and you're investing in real estate. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
Hey, Greg, isn't that?
What's up, man?
Question: Do the brokerage accounts allow that combination of stocks and ETFs? I haven't explored the ETF side. I'm not familiar with that, but I have a couple brokerage accounts. I'm just trying to figure out how that works. And then I guess the second part of that question: do you have any, excuse me, recommendations on where I can maybe um, go to get more detailed information regarding ETFs? I know I can scrub the internet and just kind of do my own search and stuff, but I'm interested. I just don't know enough about it at this point in time, so I haven't pulled the trigger on anything.
I would say continue to come to these meetings. You're in our coaching program. Continue to go to those meetings.
Hmm.
We've got specialists coming to tell you what ETFs to look at. I will
Okay.
give you a few. Um, VOO. I'm putting them in the chat. VOO is good. QQ. Oh, here comes Luis now. I'll put QQQ. I told you VTG. Hey, Luis, you with us?
Hey, what's up, Greg? My bad. My son called me, so I was talking to him.
No worries. We're finishing up.
Okay.
Nat just asked the question. First, he asked out of his brokerage account, the same brokerage account, can he invest in stocks and ETFs? And I told him he could. And then he asked, I think he asked, what are some of the uh, ETFs to follow? I gave him VU, QQQ, and VTG. You have any others that he could follow?
Yes. Yes, I do. You have DRAM. I think DRAM's an ETF. DRAM.
That was the
That
one
one.
that got mentioned last week.
Yeah, that's a good. What's up, Nat? That's a good
Hey,
one to
what's up, Lee?
have. Chilling, man. That's a good one to have. That one.
That one's
Um,
right now, what is that, $69 or $67?
it dropped down today around 69. So yeah, I think it's a 69 right now. You're right.
And that's
No, no, I'm
memory.
sorry. It dropped down to 60. I apologize. 60.
Oh, it dropped down to 60. All right. And so
I,
that's semiconductors and that ETF and memory, all related to AI.
right. Right.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
What else? So we got
Um,
DRAM.
Here, let me pull up my list. Tell you right now.
And you
So
guys, while he's pulling up his list, I put in the chat our community page, school.com big / big life / about. Just click on that, and that's our free community where you guys can stay connected. Go ahead, Luis.
then you got SMH. SMH is a decent one. QQQ is not bad. I'm not a big fan of QQQ. It's not bad.
It's giving
Um,
15% right now.
Is
yeah,
it
it's not bad.
is it VTG or VGT, Greg? I think you were saying VTG, but
VGT. No,
I like VTI. I like VTI is the one I like.
it's VTG. It's VTG.
VTG. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if Honeywell is considered ETF now. But I know they made some major market changes. So isn't and all these stocks that we're talking about, these are very volatile stocks that if you want to play options, I don't promote playing options. I just don't. I think it's gambling personally. But some people are very successful at it. I just there's just too much risk involved for me. Some people look at it differently, right? They'll say, well, if you play options, if you don't have $1,000 for what's that stock, Greg? There's $1,000 right now. It's MU, that one. That's another good one I keep hearing about.
And that
So
it is VGT. I got it on the screen. It is VGT.
VGT. Okay.
And so look, it's got a total return of approximately over 25% annually over the last 10 years. So it's 10-year return. It's Vanguard's ETF, VGT, 25% return.
And are these kind of similar to the way I guess stocks? And that was my mistake. I was kind of alluding to Greg when I first got into buying stocks, probably some years ago, as I saw one that was doing well, so I bought it high, and then that was kind of the peak, and so it kind of declined since then. So you got to kind of monitor where it is, and not necessarily buy it at its peak, but buy it maybe on the dip, and then kind of invest and then watch it grow from there. Is that kind of how ETFs work as well? I mean, or I know people have different strategies.
It is, but Luis could probably answer that better than me. Did you hear that question, Luis?
I did. So Nat, you're correct in a lot of things you're saying. An ETF is basically a bunch of companies all involved in one. And so, if one company is down, the other ones are picking it up. Now I trade differently and I do actively trade. I have TradingView as my resource for looking at charts, but you can use Sink or Swim or any of these other um, brokerages to use. But I like TradingView. TradingView to me is I'm like a ninja with that stuff. Ask Greg. And so you can look at the daily chart and kind of see on how it's moving, how it's moved in the past, and you can kind of start looking at resistant levels, and then that can be
Mhm.
your entry point. So sometimes when I say I'm going to go in on a dip, I'm seriously going in on a dip because I want to go in a 4 hour dip, the 1 hour dip. What dip do I want to go in? But you're right on catching the dip. But ETF is a much safer way to invest, and investing is very emotional. So you gotta know, sometimes when these things dip, to me, as I trade, it to me is shopping. And I'm on several pages for stocks, and we all shut out shopping time, and that's when you dollar cost average, and that's how you become super successful with stocks. It's not
Hmm.
buying a Starbucks and just putting that Starbucks money into the share. And when you buy an ETF, you don't have to buy the whole one share at all. I mean, you can buy increments of shares. So you can put in $20 today when you see a dip. You might not have a lot of money because you're buying a house or doing something else, and that's how you get into position. I just bought a house and I'm still investing, and so
Oh,
that's
so
how I
kind of like
invest.
crypto, like
Yeah, I
crypto.
finally closed. Yeah, I finally closed.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks. That helps. Yeah, I
of
had to
course.
learn to put my hand behind my back and not look at my stocks every day because then I was getting heartache and heartburn when it wasn't
Yeah.
going well.
You can't do
So,
that.
So Nat, to that point, I was very fortunate to meet one of Greg's friends, Kevin. I think were you there when Kevin spoke at our accountability group?
I was telling Greg I couldn't stay long. I actually only joined for like the first 30 minutes. So at like 6 o'clock, a little bit after 6, I had to jump off.
Do me a favor. I know you probably sent me 1,000 times, but send me the best email. I know I got your email somewhere. I don't feel like digging for it, and I'll send you the recording. I recorded it.
Send it to
Oh.
me. You hadn't sent it to me. Send it to me as well.
Are you part? Greg, have you been to one of our meetings yet? This is only accountability people.
Yes.
Hey,
You
hey,
thought
Luis, how you doing, man? Kenny.
what's going on, Kenneth?
All right, all right. Hey, I'm gonna send you my email. Can you send it to me too?
Well, wait. Hold on, Kenny. Were you at the last accountability meeting?
No, I couldn't make it. I was telling Greg I couldn't make it, but I'm
But
yeah,
Kenneth, don't worry about it because you've been to at least one of our meetings. So yeah, I got you, Kenny. I got you
all
and
right,
that.
all right.
No problem.
Yeah,
Easy.
I don't think Greg has been to any of them.
Oh,
I'm
see,
gonna, I'm, gonna, I'm gonna walk real slow to the push button for him. Real slow.
Okay.
I'm walking real slow to the computer. But I got y'all. I'm just kidding, Greg.
Okay,
Oh Lord, I know that voice. Who's that? Olivia? What you want, Olivia?
I just want to say, can you send it to me too, please?
I will. But Greg, Olivia gave me a hard time the other day. I just want to let you know that.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Olivia, I'm just
something.
kidding.
Hey,
No.
let me wrap this up, you guys. So,
I apologize.
no, everything's good. So this is the VTG. This is Vanguard VTG. It's 114. It's $114, you guys. $114. And and again, that's a night out. Sacrifice a night out, a nice dinner, sacrifice a nice glass of wine, and buy this one. Just buy one stock.
Hey, Greg.
I showed you what it's returning at over 25%. Over 25%. Just buy one stock and get going. Go ahead.
Hey, Greg, I was gonna say they can break that in two or threes. So you got $50, put in 50, and then buy $50 worth of that share, and then the next day put another 50. So you don't have to have the whole 114 on that day when you buy it.
You guys can do that. You guys can do that. And so you guys, again, everybody on here is not in our coaching program. If you guys are interested in our coaching program, schedule an appointment with me. If you have any questions about any of the estate planning, any of the type of insurances that we talked about, anything that we discussed tonight, contact me or click on the link, join our free community. Join our free community. We've got lots of great information. Information is power, you guys. You guys need this information. I wish I had all this information many, many years ago, but we're getting in. We've got very knowledgeable people like Luis, but everybody's willing to help, and so we want to help you build wealth.
Hey,
All right.
Mr. Greg.
Yes.
I've been thinking about the insurance policies that you're talking about. I wanted to know where I could do schooling for it.
Contact me.
Okay.
You said schooling to get your license?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So go to GB's calendar, my calendar. Where's my calendar? And just schedule an appointment. I don't know if I put it in the chat or not. I'll put it in the chat. GB.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, just click on the link and schedule an appointment with me. I just put it in the calendar. All right, you guys. That's all I've got. Thanks for hopping in here, Luis.
Of course, no problem.
And then